The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube, and on my site, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you are encouraged to post your comments, whether you agree with yours truly or not. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten. Well, Boaz was going to play a little musical interlude there, but I guess it didn't fire up. To be president of the United States, I bet you could guess what the musical interlude was supposed to be when I say that the prerequisite for being president of the United States is that you are born in the USA. I'm sorry, we had Bruce Springsteen here live. He was going to perform it for us, but something technically went wrong there. Anyways, Barack Obama says... There we go. Thank you, Boaz. Better late than never. You know, Barack Obama says he was born here in Hawaii, but there are those who don't believe it. They say that they think that he was born in Kenya. Well, Phillip Berg, who is actually a Democrat and a former assistant state's attorney in Pennsylvania, wants to be sure that Obama was actually born in the USA. He has filed suit demanding that Obama produce an original copy of his Hawaii birth certificate with an embossed seal in order to prove it. Now, when Obama filed a motion to dismiss but failed to answer the discovery under the deadline, Berg prematurely celebrated, announcing that this, in essence, was an admission on Obama's part that he is not a natural-born citizen of the United States and therefore not qualified to be president. Then late on Friday, the federal judge in Philadelphia hearing the case dismissed it, ruling that Berg has no standing. This, of course, leaves the allegation out there unanswered, at least by the courts. Obama's campaign asserts, of course, that he was born in Hawaii. Now Berg is appealing that ruling to the United States Supreme Court. Joining us live from Pennsylvania is attorney Phillip Berg. Welcome, sir, to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
My pleasure. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Did I encapsulate in very short form the chronology of this case properly?
Yes, you did, and we got the surprise. The ruling was issued after hours on Friday, so we picked it up late Friday night, early Saturday, and since then we've been working diligently to prepare and should be filing a writ of certiorari to the United States Supreme Court tomorrow, which is October 29th.
What are the chances that the United States Supreme Court will actually hear this case prior to, if they decide to, which they don't have to, it's up to the justices, prior to the election on Tuesday?
I think very good. I'm very hopeful. I think very good because we're dealing with a potential constitutional crisis in this country. You know, potentially, if I am correct, which I believe 100%, that Barack Obama is not a natural-born citizen, therefore cannot be president of the United States, we're headed towards a constitutional crisis. The matter could have been resolved very easily if he had produced a certified copy of his birth certificate, not this certification of live birth, which they put up on their website, significant date, June of 2008, 2 months before I even got involved into looking into this matter. The document they put up on their website was a document that had been altered. At the bottom of the document it says if there's any alteration, it's invalid. He has not produced sufficient documentation, and I believe he hasn't produced it because he can't produce it, and therefore he's not qualified to run for president.
Well, factcheck.org claims that they have looked at the original document, and it is properly a birth certificate with an embossed seal. That's what they've put on their site.
Well, factcheck.org is owned by Annenberg of Chicago. and they come back, their supporters say, well, Annenberg was this huge, rich Republican that supported, I think, Governor Reagan. That's not the issue. Annenberg of Chicago is the Obama sat on that board with Bill Ayers. So I think there's a little thing called a conflict of interest there. So, and what they're saying is they say they looked at the same document, but yet the document that they put on their website differs from the document that's on the Obama website, and therefore I think it lacks total credibility.
Aren't they run by isn't that a nonpartisan foundation that's attached to the University of Pennsylvania? Seems that would
sure,
give it a little bit
part
of credibility.
Also Annenberg of Chicago, where Obama sat on the board along with his Bill Ayers. So, I think it raises some real questions here. Here's the situation. This thing has grown to monumental proportions at this time. My website, obamacrimes.com, OBAMACRIMES.com, excuse me, has been open for a little over 8 weeks, and we have, as of today, 82 million hits. That's 82 million hits on our website. This is, if you look on the internet, it's all over the place. This has become a huge, huge question, and it didn't have to be, because Obama could have produced his birth certificate 2 months ago, and we would have all gone away. But since he hasn't produced his birth certificate, there's a real question out there. And by his not producing, there's people out there that probably won't vote for him. And if he really is natural born, I think it's to his detriment. Listen, I've been a Democrat my whole life. The only reason I'm filing this action and filed it and pursuing it is that our U.S. Constitution must be followed. And if it's not followed, we're in real trouble in this country, because we're in a lot of trouble for a lot of other things in this country right now. We've lost many rights during this past, in my opinion, during the last 8 years of the administration that's in effect. So I think that we have some big problems here, which have grown to monumental proportions just because the arrogance of Obama, if he is truly a natural-born citizen. However, if he's not a natural-born citizen, which I don't believe he is, that's why he has not responded.
Well, Attorney Phillip Berg, there are 3 scenarios with different outcomes.